Hi everyone, this is Tiffany Devon. I am a certified life coach, wardrobe stylist, and motivational speaker. And I'm going to be sharing a story with you that is very, very, very personal. It is the first time that I am choosing to share this story in video format. I have shared it with people in my inner circle, my family, my friends. I've shared it in my workshops that I've done, but I felt that it was time for me to share it in this way. And what I'm going to be talking about is mental illness. It's a topic that, we don't want to talk about it, because of the stigma that's attached to mental illness. But first and foremost, let me just educate you what mental illness is, because a lot of people just think, oh, he's crazy or she's crazy. She didn't take her meds today, So for people who are suffering with it, it makes them feel even more ashamed to even come forward and speak about it. And so we have to begin to talk about it differently. But mental illness is simply this. If you deal with depression, anxiety, worry, sometimes it could be schizophrenia, it could be bipolar. Those are issues with mental illness. And the reason why I am talking about this topic today, because I felt that it was time for me to share it, because when people see me on social media, they see that I'm so happy and I'm so joyful and I'm radiating, but they don't know my story of why I'm happy, of why I'm in this place that I'm in. And it's because of some of the things that I've had to go through to get here, really. And I felt that someone is going to benefit from this story because of the people that I have shared it with. They have been impacted by it in some way. And so I felt like what better way than to use social media as a tool for me to be able to talk to the masses, right? So I just want to give you a little quick story of how I got to this place of where I am today. In 2007, I moved to Dallas from Kansas City in search of a better life. And when I got here, it's been nothing but struggles and isolation sometimes. And I was just frustrated of my struggle, of my path. And in 2012, I was just agitated. I was aggravated, frustrated, any type of word that added on it. I was probably that. So I'm like, okay, God, I moved here in search of something better and greater, and I'm going through all of this mess, all of these struggles. And the day that I got up to go to work, for 3 to 4 days, I had not been sleeping. And if you're familiar with sleep deprivation can cause you to hallucinate. It can cause you to hear voices. It can just cause you to be cranky. You're not even yourself. So all of those symptoms that I just explained is what I experienced on this particular day that I went to work. And I lost my mind. I literally just lost my mind. And it was so traumatic that my job had to call the ambulance and the police. And I was taken away by police and admitted to psychiatric care. And it was so traumatic and so embarrassing that I thought I'm never going back to work, because I don't want them to think something wrong with me and I'm crazy and this and that. And so I took a leave of absence from work for an hour. I'm sorry, for a month, not an hour, a month. And I'll never forget it. I was walking through Target one day and I heard this still small voice say, "You're going to have to go back and face your fears." And I thought, face my fears? Face what? I was the kind of person that cared what people thought, cared what they think. And something like this happens, you don't want to go back and face what people are going to say about you. And when I really heard that the news had made it around the entire company, I thought, oh, I'm really not going back. But what I learned during that time is that I did have what they would call mental illness. And it was one of those things I didn't even want to admit that. I'm like, who wants to attach themselves to that? But going through that experience is the reason why I became a life coach. And I felt as though if I'm going to be coaching other people to walk in their truth and own their truth, then I needed to own mine, right? And what better way to do it than to let's have a discussion about it. So I did. And I feel as though in order to rewrite the script, that's a workshop that I taught earlier this year, because rewrite the script is about looking at your life and looking at what you have been manifesting in your life this far. And if you're not pleased with it, then you have to own the script, whatever your script is. My script just happened to be, my script just happened to be depression and anxiety and worry. But in order for me to rewrite something different, I first had to own it. Even though it was ugly, even though it was shameful, even though people don't want to talk about it. People don't want to talk about mental illness. No, who wants to talk about that? But I'm here to tell you that I overcame it. And I'm steadily overcoming it, because there will be times and moments where I didn't even want to get out of the bed. I'm a prayer. I go to church. And so the reason, like I said, I had to share this story today is because if you see me happy, you have to understand why I'm happy, because of all these things that I've had to go through. And from 2012 to 2014, it was not pretty. It was not pretty. I had this happen to me. Then I got married thinking that I had married my soulmate, my life partner. And to all have that come crashing and crumbling down in 2014, I thought, my life is over, right? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. But prayer and doing the work is what got me here. So I'm sharing all of this to say is that you can overcome anything. And we have to start letting people know what's wrong with us. And we can't continue to masquerade and hide behind our pain because we're too prideful to let people in. We're too prideful to let people know what's really going on with us. So we rather masquerade it. We rather shop it up. We rather sex it up. Oh yeah. You can sex it up. You rather do all of these things to hide, to keep people from really seeing who you really are. And that's who I was. And I got tired of that. And I said, who am I fooling? Who am I fooling? And I knew that if I didn't get down and busy with looking at me in the mirror and overcoming some of these things, that I was going to forever be indebted to manifesting mess. And who has time for mess? We don't. We don't have time for mess anymore. And so I wanted to share this story with you today because I was inspired by a conversation that I had with a guy who told me that he had suicidal thoughts. And he goes to church every Sunday. And when I was brave enough to share with him my story, he said, wow. He said, you know what? It's a lot of people that has happened to. A lot of people have happened to. So then I started saying to myself, well, why am I being shameful? Why am I still hiding behind this? This is my story. It may not have been pretty, but it's ending well, okay? And you can overcome anything in life. Overcome anything in life. You don't have to live and be attached to stigmas or anything like that, okay? So I hope this story really connects with you in some way, form, or fashion. Maybe it's someone that you know that is struggling with these issues. I'm just going to say, don't be too prideful. Go talk to somebody about it, okay? I know that we have this thing about, I don't want to let nobody in my business. They don't need to know all of that. It's that kind of thinking is why you're staying stuck, okay? Because I couldn't say it if it wasn't me. I can't call out anything unless I've gone through it, because I used to think that same way. And that same kind of thinking was keeping me in this perpetual state of just going nowhere. So when I decided to get real and be open and be transparent is when my life began to change in so many unimaginable ways that I could ever think of. And I give it all to God. I really do. So I hope this blesses you. Thank you for listening to my story, and leave a comment below. Talk to you later. Bye. Smooches.